Okay, so welcome back to our article, Here's to Your Health by Joan Dunayer. This is the article that is in our module. And now that we've completed step number 1, numbering the paragraphs, we're going to go on to step number 2 now. Remember though that step number 1 will help us reference the paragraphs much faster since now they're numbered. Step 2 now asks us to circle any keywords that we see in the article. This is an important step because it will help us locate many of the important ideas that we otherwise might have missed in our first reading. Let's begin by just looking at paragraph 1 together. Take a minute or so to identify any keywords in this paragraph and go ahead and circle them. Remember that these can be words that stand out for a number of reasons. It might be that they're offering data or numbers, maybe names of people or places, and remember that repeated words often are done so for a reason. Feel free to pause the video at this point for as long as you need to go through paragraph number 1. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to circle some of the keywords that you found in paragraph number 1. Let's look at some of these together, and we can discuss why we might have circled some of these keywords as we review them. Unfortunately, since I'm using a PDF, circling doesn't really work as well here. So for this activity, I will be highlighting the keywords instead of circling them that I see. Now, normally I would ask my students to volunteer which words they decided to circle, with a quick explanation by them as to why they did so. However, this unfortunately won't work in this case here. So the first word that I see that I might circle is freshman. Now, why do you think we should circle that one there? I would hope my students would be able to come up with something like it shows that he was very young maybe or inexperienced. Also maybe that it shows that he might be more easily influenced perhaps by older classmates. Also maybe the possibility of just simply saying that it helps give an age range as to how old he might have been. All of these would be good responses and helpful in our understanding more about the character. Now the next thing I see that sort of ties into this as well is the word varsity right afterward here, and then maybe also wrestling team. Now, even though they're related, I would still circle them separately. They each have their own meanings and they can provide different understandings of the article. So first, why would we circle varsity? Why would that be a good one to circle? A few ideas could involve that he's a freshman on an upperclassmen team perhaps. Also maybe that he's trying to fit in with the varsity team that's very competitive. As we know, varsity is more competitive than JV. There are plenty of other ideas as well, so hopefully we can come up with more ideas also as to why we circled them. I can keep thinking about them. Now for wrestling team, that gives us an idea of what team that he's on, obviously, but some students might also tie in other ideas to wrestling in particular, especially if they have experiences on their own high school teams themselves. From here, there are quite a few other words that should stand out to you as well, seeing as how this activity is leaning towards that idea overall. Hopefully you are noticing how by going back and relooking at some of the keywords and ideas, it adds to your initial understanding of the text. Now a few other keywords that I see that stand out right away might be Todd. Oops. Todd there. Maybe the word anxious. And also perhaps older teammates. All of them might be good. Anxious in particular is a good word that really gives you a sense of how he is feeling. It tells us that he's not happy about this perhaps. Maybe that he didn't really want to do this. Maybe also that he feels pressured in doing this. Can you think of any other things that the word anxious might imply? Now, before we go into a couple other words, why do you think the author might have included the name Todd here? Why is this an important keyword in the article? Now some of the ideas for this might be that it puts a face to the name. Maybe it makes it more personal. Now, can we say that we know Todd, or do we even know that if he's real? Of course not. However, by just giving the character a name, the author is using an emotional appeal strategy that makes us want to connect with this character more. Maybe we knew a Todd in our lives, or maybe we have a relative named Todd. By doing this, we connect to the person much more than if she just had said a student had an accident. So keep these ideas in mind and these strategies that are being used as we proceed in our next few weeks of analyzing text. They'll come in handy. Now, just looking through paragraph 1 a little more, a few other keywords that could have been circled. Let's look at also maybe the word tequila there. Maybe the word sissy a little below it. The word maybe terrified stands out. Of course, the word hospital down here, and also a coma. Oops, I highlighted the wrong ones. Delete it, and then hospital should be one. And I would also say coma, and the word dead. And blood alcohol also sounds important. Of course, we also see the word Todd a couple more times, and as we said, repeated words are important. So all of those can be definitely circled. Now, the word hospital, now that one in coma in particular, they give us an impression of how serious the situation is. It's not just that Todd got sick and felt terrible. No, he had to be rushed to the hospital. People don't go to the hospital unless the situation is very serious normally. He also was lucky not to be in a coma, so obviously this gives us the idea that he could have been in some real serious trouble. So overall, you can see that all these words are being put in there for a reason by our author. They're all trying to paint a very serious picture of what can happen if a young student abuses alcohol. So now that you have an idea of how we're completing step 2, go ahead and proceed to the next few paragraphs, 2 through 6, and follow the same steps. Identify any key words or terms in the text and circle them. We will then review some of the ones that you found, and together we'll discuss them a little bit so that we can see why they might be important. Feel free to pause the video here for as long as you need to, so that you can complete this next section of annotating paragraphs 2 through 6, and then you can come back to it.